Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to you all. I am pleased to welcome you all to the College of Islamic Studies session of the Virtual Graduate Studies Open House 2020 at Hamad bin Khalifa University for the academic year 2021-2022. My name is Adam Olowo, a student of the Master's Program in Islamic Studies at the College of Islamic Studies, and I am very honored and delighted to have the opportunity to welcome you all here today. I hope you all find this event to be very informative and encouraging, and that it helps to guide you in your exciting academic journey. This is going to be the first time that the HBKU Graduate Studies Open House is conducted online. However, be rest assured that this year's event is going to be as comprehensive and informative as past editions and more accessible than before. Our session today aims to connect you with the Dean and faculty members to explore the unique academic and research opportunities at the College of Islamic Studies and to learn more about the admission requirements and student affairs. Our session is going to follow the following sequence. First is a welcome message from Dr. Imaduddin Shaheen, who is the HBKU Interim Provost, and we'll move on to a welcome message by Dr. Imah Garib, the Associate Dean at the College of Islamic Studies. And then we move to the academic overview of the program, starting with the PhD in Islamic Finance and Economy, and then to the Master of Science in Islamic Finance. We move on to Master of Arts in Contemporary Islamic Studies, and then Master of Arts in Islam and Global Affairs, Master of Science in Islamic Art, Architecture and Urbanism, Master of Arts in Applied Islamic Ethics, all of which are going to be presented by various faculty members and students. Next, we move on to the admission and application requirements, which is going to be presented by Nasser Al-Binali from the Enrollment Office, and then to an overview of student affairs at HBKU, which is going to be presented by Fahd Al-Hajri from Student Affairs. And then we'll end the session with a question and answer session and the closing remark. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone that all lines are to be muted until the end of the session. If you have any questions or suggestions or comments whatsoever, feel free and do not hesitate to write it in the question and answer box. We will be very happy to relate it to the appropriate faculty member. Now, I'd like to start the session by playing a welcome message from Dr. Imaduddin Shaheen, the HBKU's Interim Provost.
Dear prospective students, welcome to Hamad bin Khalifa University, HBKU, and congratulations to all of you on the first steps towards your graduate journey. My name is Imaduddin Shaheen, and I'm the Interim Provost at HBKU. Let me start by introducing you to the Virtual Graduate Studies Open House 2020 website. It has been designed specifically to support you in your decisions for your next academic undertaking. The Virtual Graduate Studies Open House is an excellent opportunity for all of you who are interested in pursuing a degree in one of HBKU's exceptional graduate programs across the areas of Islamic Studies, Humanities and Social Sciences, Science and Engineering, Health and Life Sciences, Law and Public Policy. We have provided dedicated sessions throughout the week for our prospective students to thoroughly explore all of what we have to offer for a vibrant and impactful student experience. You will be able to connect with experts across HBKU who will introduce our unique academic and research opportunities for students. HBKU is a member of Qatar Foundation for Education, Science and Community Development and was founded to continue fulfilling QF's vision of unlocking human potential. As a homegrown university, we are extremely proud to be celebrating 10 years of establishment and very much look forward to welcoming you on this aspiring journey. Every student who enters the HBKU community becomes our priority to inform, with rich scholarship in the field to enhance personal and academic capacity and to dedicate resources to empower. Each academic offering is designed to incorporate multidisciplinary education so that you are not restricted to a single approach in your interest, but rather can delve into your research interests from multiple dimensions and engage with other disciplines within and outside the classroom. With the support of a faculty body that are leading thinkers in their field and array of academic and research resources, we strive to empower our students to become future leaders, ones who embrace an entrepreneurial mindset, think critically, even beyond the classroom, and are always in pursuit of new solutions to national and international challenges. Our aspiration is that our graduates will confidently create a positive impact in areas that inspire them and make a difference in our world today. I wish you the best of luck in your pursuit of higher education and look forward to possibly welcoming you as our latest cohort of inspired change makers.
We would like to thank Dr. Imad for that insightful message. And now I would like to invite Dr. Rimah Garib, the Associate Dean at CIS, to please give his opening remarks.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Adam, and I welcome you all, dear colleagues. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're all safe. May Allah protect you, us, and all humanity from this pandemic. And it would have been a better opportunity if we will see you face to face in our college and meet you and welcome you in our campus. Again, thank you very much for your time and dedication to attend our open house event. Actually, today is my first time to address a formal college ceremony within the open house. I would like to start with a brief introduction. My name is Rimah Garib. I'm an associate professor of urban design and architecture. I teach as well at the College of Islamic Studies. Currently I'm serving as well as the associate dean for academic and student affairs within the college. Again, I welcome you to our open house event, where you will be able to have an overview of our signature academic programs and our research activities. Something that we would like to share with you, and hopefully, inshallah, we celebrate together within our new academic year. The College of Islamic Studies at Hamad bin Khalifa University, I would say it's the house of unconventional Islamic teachings. We aim to develop scholars with strong knowledge in Islam and with modern methodologies where they can be able to cope or serve the future needs of our societies and beyond, of course. And this afternoon, we are proud to present you with all the 6 graduate programs we're offering, 5 master programs and 1 PhD. And we can also provide you a quick overview about our new programs that we'll be offering. Again, we're going to be celebrating with you or sharing with you our scholars in the college who will take you into a journey between the courses and the projects that we are offering. We are determined that in graduate education, it's not a matter of sharing knowledge, but actually it's working together to create new knowledge. And this is basically our aim. And that's what we seek to develop within our college. The College of Islamic Studies, I would say it's the first college within HBKU. It's the first homegrown college as well in Qatar Foundation. We managed to graduate more than 1,000 graduates within the last 10 years. Most of our graduates managed either to join prominent new jobs or roles, or even to develop their ongoing careers. So some of them been able to develop either academically and join other universities for their PhD studies or beyond, while others kept on developing their jobs and careers in Qatar and in other countries, of course. Maybe I'd like to share with you that most of our graduates managed to achieve very high GPAs by the end of their studies, and this also allowed them to get accepted at various international prominent universities in the UK and the US. This is something that we are proud of, and it gives us a kind of assurance that we are actually developing and providing the best candidates for the field of studies that we are offering as well. I must take this opportunity to ensure that we have the best faculty in the fields, and they are fully determined to provide you with all the required knowledge and tools for you to succeed in your studies and develop even more. I also appreciate our graduates and students and graduates who paid this huge effort and acted as role models for you, and you're going to be seeing some of them this afternoon throughout the sessions that we are providing. Some of them will talk about their success story. Some of them will give you an insight of what you can do in the future with these degrees that we will be offering to you. We believe that the future is now possible between you and us when we come together and we start creating this kind of work and research. And it means that it all depends on you now, listening to what we're going to be offering to you. And we see you now as members of CIS already. So, and inshallah, by God-given potential, choose the best program that you see fit your dreams and ideas, and we are here to try to provide you with the best, inshallah. Now we will start with our first program, the PhD in Islamic Finance and Economy, Dr. Ahmed Aysen, and inshallah we're going to be going program by program, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rima.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Rima. It's a great pleasure to be here. I am also relatively new to the program. Let me briefly introduce myself, and I will go over the program. I'm a professor of economics, and before joining the HBKU, I just joined about 2 months ago or 3 months ago. I was working in Turkey at Istanbul Şehir University. I was a board member of Central Bank of Turkey, and I received my PhD from University of Maryland, College Park. Most of my background is in academia, also in practice. So actually, the reason that why I come to here might be quite related with your decision. I believe in the vision of HBKU, and especially College of Islamic Studies. College of Islamic Studies especially is providing the intellectuals for the Muslim world. You can be local, you can look at it from the regional perspective, but you can provide certain global values by studying at College of Islamic Studies overall. I am very happy to be part of College of Islamic Studies. We have very good programs, and definitely Islamic Finance and Economy program is one of the oldest. We have very prominent scholars. We have very important graduates from our master program. But our PhD program is relatively new. It is just about 3 years. And now we are dealing with our students in the first batch. They are about to be defending their proposal defenses. But this program is Islamic finance and economy issues becoming more and more popular after 2008 crisis. Most of the social sciences are becoming more multidisciplinary, and the College of Islamic Studies are actually reflecting that. We have electives that we require our students to take from other programs, such that they will not be just benefit from our Islamic finance program, but they will also benefit from the intellectuals, academics in our program. We have very prominent academics also within the college, within the university. So we are providing such an habitat, and I believe that should be the most important reason why you should come to HBKU and College of Islamic Studies. And we really value local aspirations. I mean, we follow Qatar National Vision 2030. We want our students to work on Qatari's economy and to contribute to Qatari's economy. But at the same time, we also believe on more universal values, and we believe in that intellectuals, academics, by studying Islamic finance and economy can contribute to global economy. So that's why, for example, we are emphasizing sustainability. That's why we don't want to just to be a good university in Qatar or in the region, but we are aiming to be among the first 5 programs in Islamic finance and Islamic economy. And we are already there, and we are even trying to achieve better and to be more international competitive. Our students are coming. I mean, we have relatively, Qatar is relatively has a scale issue, but we have in our PhD program, 22 countries are represented. So one of the reasons also, in addition to high quality of the faculty members, in addition to the program itself, the content, we are very sure about the content and the quality of our faculty members, but at the same time, you guys should come for the environment. And one of the environment is definitely HBKU, as I mentioned, the intellectual environment in College of Islamic Studies, and also your interactions with your friends. And in our program, 22 countries are being represented. And those students are coming from very good backgrounds. They are working in very nice positions. And in our courses, they share their experiences, and they experience certain things together. This is also the learning environment. So this internationalization has been there, and we are aiming to even improve it. And this is something I'm sure you will benefit a lot. And one nice thing about our program, it is a research-based university, and our courses, lectures start at 4 p.m. And we understand that most of you probably will continue working. And this is something good. And this is the trend, by the way. In the past, it was you just drop your regular work and then you study your master, your PhD, and you go back again to your work. But this is not anymore the case globally. And we follow the same track. We allow, in order to facilitate our students to be able to work while doing their PhDs, we start our lectures at 4 p.m. So, and in the first year, you are required to take 3 courses. So you can manage to work, and at the same time, you can manage to continue your academic career. And this is evident from our existing students. About 80% of our students are already working, and they are really working in good places. And when they start discussing in the class, and actually this is the most enjoyable part for me, I see that there are very good ideas coming up from our students. I'm learning from our students. I'm learning about the Qatari economy. I'm learning about their occupations, some of the details, and so on. And we contribute all together, not just myself, not just our Islamic finance faculty members, but our classmates, the students are also contributing. And our faculty members are quite engaged. We are very much following our students. For example, today, just after this, we have for PhD proposal defense students, we have a special session just to follow up what they are doing and all the other students are joining in just before their proposal defense. And we have a very close communication, and we are quite helpful, and this is what they say. And you are gonna see, inshallah, the best sort of actually communication will be through one of your friends who is experiencing this. And inshallah, in a bit, I will give the floor to Mr. Khalid Al Ansari. He is one of our students in PhD program. He will talk more about this. But again, let me emphasize this. You can work. I'm sure this question will come. You can work and you can study. The program starts at 4 and ends at 7 p.m. So 3 courses in a week is even enjoyable, I believe, because you are not going to be just working. It will be a different environment. It will be a different habitat for you, such that you will engage with others. So it is socially engaging, and I'm sure it will be quite enjoyable. So our uniqueness, I again emphasize this: you can work, study, inspire others. You can make impact. That is the most important value that we give. We don't want you to just study for academic reasons. We don't just want to give you diploma. Inshallah, you will make a difference in academia. You will make a difference in practice. You will make a difference in your working place. And this is the vision of Qatar National Vision, Qatar Foundation, HBKU, So where you are in terms of the vision is quite important, and we are trying to deliver this. And we are also inspired by your success, by your achievement, and we do our best to make you successful and to have an impact after your graduations. Inshallah, you will find good jobs, you will write good papers, you will be known as coming out of Qatar and contributing to global affairs, contributing to global academia, academic literature. So these are all our aims, and we are already doing it. Most of our students start writing their papers. Some of our students have started publishing in high-quality journals. Our faculty members are highly publishing community members, academic community members, and they have good connections in academia, in practice, and they are doing their best to contribute to help their students. And this is something actually traditionally we do have, that it is relatively a small university, but this is a big advantage. This is where the world is going, so we have more time to help our students to write papers together, to present papers. We have very good international collaborations with other universities from all over the world. We let our students to attend conferences, to write papers together with their professors, to present those. So these are very valuable contributions. And we also encourage our students to do certain internship in international organizations. That's why we are revising our program as the global situation is changing. For example, after COVID-19, we start emphasizing more of the sustainability issues, because we believe that Islamic economics and finance is not just for Qatar, it is not just for Muslim Ummah, it is for the globe. We can contribute to the humanity, and we can make a big impact there. Let me. I know we have relatively limited time, but it is really a multi and interdisciplinary program. We do not just emphasize the quantitative aspect. You know, in economics, we sometimes emphasize quantitative aspects too much, but our main focus is to make you think independently, to have a critical thinking, and to come up with your ideas. So it's a blended program. We have finance and economics, we have Sharia, we have sustainability aspect, and we are increasing this sustainability aspect even more after COVID-19. We have entrepreneurship aspect as well. In terms of the structure, I'm sure this question will come also later on, but let me give you the information before. We have 7 courses. We have 7 courses in the program. 5 of them are core courses. So these are the 5 core courses, because we want you to have a good background in certain fundamentals on Sharia, on Islamic finance, sustainability issues, and even econometrics. But these are just to make you to come to a certain point, so it's kind of a level playing field. And then we allow our students to take elective courses from the department or from the other programs in the college. We know that we have very prominent faculty members in the college, and we should benefit from them. And I believe this is doable, because we also spread this 7 courses in 3 semesters. So you take 3 courses in the fall, 3 courses in the spring, and 1 elective, and you prepare for the comprehensive exam, and then you start writing papers and you start collaborating more for research. This is a research university, and we emphasize very much of the research. I mean, sooner or later you can pass your courses, you can learn about content, but more importantly, you will have the chance to closely collaborate with your professors. You will have the chance to write papers together. You will have the chance to present your papers in international conferences. You will have the chance to travel abroad, hopefully after COVID-19. And you will have the chance even to work in international organizations, in the World Bank, in UNDP, in United Nations. And these are our aim. We believe that your success is our success, and we are doing our best to achieve this. And let me give the floor to our student, Khalid Al-Ansari. He experienced this, and we didn't get into details of his speech. I'm also wondering what he's going to be telling to us. Mr. Khalid, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Khalid Al-Ansari, and I am starting the 3rd year now in the PhD program of the Islamic Finance and Economics. And I don't know what to tell you other than it's a good program. You learn a lot from it, but you must have background. You must be thoroughly grounded in finance or economics or other areas that will be discussed or taken as courses in the program. I can just tell you from my experience that you will need per topic, you will need between 12 hours to 14 hours to read the reading material required for each course. So you must consider that in your plans for the weekend, because you will only meet for each course once a week. But then you will have reading so that you will be aware of the discussion that will happen next week. So that's one thing that you should consider. It's not much, like 1 hour or 2 hours every day. By the end of the week, you will actually manage, inshallah. The other thing that I actually experienced, and I'm very thankful of, is that through those courses, especially the core courses, you learn new techniques, a new state-of-the-art information. I mean, I've taken I have a master degree in business administration, but when I took the course of entrepreneurship, it was like the first time I know about entrepreneurship. There were, like lots of different categories of how you can actually be compassionate while trying to raise finance. Of course, if you take the program and if you take that course, you will learn more about it. Another course that I have very good experience of, and I will always fondly remember it, it's called Islamic Financial Structuring, where we were given reports to read and to discuss just after it was issued within 1 or 2 weeks. I remember Dr. Tariq Allah Khan, he's not with the university anymore. I think he retired, but Allah yadhkar bil khair, he is state-of-the-art moving, a moving person with state-of-the-art. I mean, we get reports that was issued about green finance just 2 weeks. It was published 2 weeks back, and we get it now so that we will actually study it and we will discuss it and we will write about it. So state-of-the-art knowledge coming from courses that had been established right now as core courses. And the thing that I want to say, it is not because most of my faculty are here, they are not. But I'm really appreciated for all those, like great professors. The university is not trying to save money by not employing the best. They are employing the best that is available. And from my experience, I'm very happy about that, because learning is not only reading. Learning can include interaction, how you can ask your teacher for things that are not in the books, how you can actually come to other areas of discovery.
Yeah, I guess we lost Mr. Khalid Al-Ansari. Let me continue from where he stopped. Right now, he is working on the blockchain applications in Qatar. We are also because he wants to, I suppose that he was going to say something along this line. He wants to learn something new. And one of the new stuff that we are also interested, our faculty members have even publications on those, blockchain applications, cryptocurrencies, and how to do it in an Islamic finance and from an Islamic economic perspective. And Mr. Khalid has a very interesting topic. He is working on blockchain applications. And our students in the first batch, in their third year right now, they're applying this blockchain into Waqf. They're applying this blockchain into cryptocurrencies. They are studying some wealth funds, the robo-advisory wealth funds. This topic is, for example, as Mr. Khalid has mentioned, these are new topics, the fintech, cryptocurrencies, blockchain. and we are trying to learn all together, and we are trying to write papers together. And the same thing for other fields. I mean, we have Sukuk, for example, which is very important for Islamic finance. We have even green Sukuk workshops. Dr. Dalal has a prior experience in practice. She's coming from the very core of the Sukuk issuances. So we have very important, very good faculty members to work along with our students and to contribute their thesis greatly from the practical perspective and also from an academic perspective. And I would like to encourage you all, actually. I mean, this is definitely an information session, but even after the information session, please try to talk with our students. Our students will give you the best insight. I mean, definitely we can talk hours about ourselves, but the most important information will be given by our students. And you are always welcome to come or to communicate with us. You can send email, and we can definitely, we are already over time, I know. When academics start talking, as you see, we never stop. So thank you very much for joining. And if you have any questions later on, not probably within this limited time, but we are very eager to respond to your questions. And we hope to see you within the college, within the PhD program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for the outstanding presentation and for believing in the vision and mission of the College of Islamic Studies. We are greatly honored with your presence here. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Dalal Asoli, Assistant Professor at CIS, to give an overview of our Masters of Science in Islamic Finance program.
Thank you, Adam. Good afternoon, good evening, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome all our prospective students. And if you have taken the decision to attend today's presentation, then this is the first step, perhaps, to enter this very exciting and fast-growing industry, which is the Islamic financial industry, either as a researcher or as a practitioner, etc. And my role today is to facilitate this decision for you, and hopefully I would be able to see some of you next year in our classes. So we live in a rapidly changing world with developments requiring integration of academic and research activities to adapt to the continuous and innovative nature of markets, technology, and regulations. And the recent financial crisis or the recent pandemic has demonstrated the need to consider ethical values in various perspectives when it comes to social justice, when it comes to dealing with inequalities, when it comes to providing alternative sources of income or raising financing in an ethical or sustainable way. All of these words, I'm sure you came across them either in the media or those of you who are basically already having a certain position in the industry. So the principles of Islamic ethics can effectively help the economy to avoid the endogenously general crisis like the global financial crisis or the general pandemic, for example. And to give you some highlights why you should position yourself today in this fast-growing industry is the Islamic banking is considered today as systematically important in about 13 jurisdictions globally. In 2019, the Islamic financial industry recorded a year-to-year annual growth rate of 11.4% and is now estimated to be worth $2.44 trillion. And this is projected, and this number is projected to grow at $3.472 trillion, which is about 40% increase. So this is the right time, basically, to position yourself in the industry. And globally, there are about 1,447 Islamic financial institutions, with 44 countries having regulations related to Islamic finance. Now, why choosing the MSc in Islamic Finance, which is one of the flagship programs of the college, which has been launched back in 2008. And since then, we had a large community of alumni students who are currently present in various countries, working in the industry or in academia. In Qatar, we have a large number of our alumni students who are working in, for example, the financial industry, in regulatory bodies, in private sector, but also in other personal projects who manage to develop their own projects. Now, the environment in HBKU, as my colleague Dr. Ahmed mentioned, is very stimulating, intellectually stimulating environment. You have access to an experienced pool of faculty coming from a variety of backgrounds, with experience spanning America, Europe, Southeast Asia, of course the Middle East, and of course both the industry and academia. So you are exposed really to a talent of a pool of talents within the college, not only in the program but also outside of the program, and you have a good overview today in today's presentation. You also have a close interaction with the professors. I think if you had a chance, and I really invite you to visit CIS, which is the building, which is a very beautiful architecture actually. Just being in the building itself is actually a privilege, and we're privileged actually to teach in such a very nice building. In addition, of course, you have the library, you have access to all the research facilities in terms of all the softwares and packages for statistical analysis, for access to market news, etc. In addition, we have, of course, one of the important consideration is the integration of contemporary issues. And I'm glad that our students, with our PhD student, and I have the chance also to introduce one of our brilliant MSc students to talk about his experience, in that we're systematically integrating the academic or recent contemporary issues. We have that flexibility in the way our programs are structured. And among the recent issues, of course, that we mentioned, Dr. Ahmed mentioned fintech, but we also work on green finance. We work on Islamic social finance, which became very relevant in terms, especially after the recent financial crisis and the pandemic. And we have other initiatives through which we're trying to share this knowledge with other institutions globally. Now, the third aspect is the integration, of course, of academic and research activities. HBKU is a research university, so we encourage our students to produce research, and this is something they do, of course, throughout the various courses, so through assignments, research projects. Of course, we have the opportunities also, we have a research center within the college, a research center in Islamic Economics and Finance, which organizes annual events, be it conferences, workshops, seminars, and our students have the opportunity to present their work in those conferences. In addition, the college supports, of course, the students presenting their research in international events. Last year, we had students presenting their research in conferences in Japan, in the US, in Europe, and of course in other Arab countries. And some of them had a chance to publish their papers in peer-reviewed journals. In addition, in terms of practical experience, our students also have a good exposure to the Islamic financial industry. Qatar is one of the Islamic financial industry hubs. And of course, we have a good representation of Islamic financial institutions. We also invite industry practitioners to some of our courses. And in addition, our students participate in some of the prestigious national competitions. Last year, we won the second place in the CFA competition, which is one of the very important financial competitions locally, regionally, and globally, but also the Qatar Stock Exchange competition. Now, all of this provides students with a unique experience that prepares them to contribute to the Islamic financial industry, either through academia, through research, or, of course, to be a practitioner in the industry. Now, I spoke about research activities, and this is just an overview about some of the research topics that our students have been focusing on in their research, but also our faculty. Our faculty members are also, we have a very good record of peer-reviewed publications in journals, and they have, of course, accomplished a lot of interesting research projects that hopefully will shape the future of research in Islamic finance and also impact positively the practices of the financial industry. So some of these areas include fintech, green finance, sustainable development, circular economy, CSR issues, of course, and value-based intermediation, which is now actually discussed by various policymakers globally on how to embed value in the conduct of activities by financial institutions. Now, in terms of the composition of the program or the program structure, the program has 36 credit hours that are split into core courses with 15 credit hours, concentration courses with 12 credit hours, and then, of course, a thesis with 9 credit hours. And for that, offers 2 key concentrations. One is Islamic banking and risk management, and of course the second one is Islamic corporate finance and asset management. I don't have time to go through the details per concentration, but this is just to give you an overview on the variety of courses that are offered under the program, which address the various needs of our students, which come from various backgrounds. And a large majority of our students are practitioners, either in the Islamic financial industry itself or the conventional financial industry. And their career perspective, either they're planning a career change in the sense they want to move to the Islamic financial industry, or it's an additional asset that they can also use even by working in the conventional industry or when developing personal projects. We also have students who would like to pursue their studies further in academia, either through our existing PhD program or other PhD programs globally. So with this, I hope that I managed to give you a good overview of the program, and I hope that this would help you in a way take your decision to integrate this, again, fast-growing industry. And I also would like to invite one of our brilliant second-year students, Mr. Omar, who will talk about his personal experience and his current thesis. And this should also give you some insights from the perspective of students of what is it about when studying at the MSc in Islamic Finance program. So I wish you a good presentation, and I look forward to seeing some of you next year.
Good evening and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So just really quickly, a bit of background about myself. I've been residing in Qatar ever since I was in high school, only leaving for a brief 3 years to do my bachelor's in Manchester. And on returning to Qatar, I decided to pursue a master's in Islamic finance. So I began to look for universities that offered the program. We saw an advertisement for the open day, the same one you're attending today, just 2 years ago. So I attended the program and I was left really, really impressed with the contents of the program, the building, the library, the faculty, just everything. I came back home, immediately applied for the program, and alhamdulillah, I got accepted. One of the things I've come to appreciate the most at HBKU is the community. I've been able to learn not from just the professors and the classes, but from fellow students as well, who come from various backgrounds. I've even had the opportunity to sit down with PhD students, one of them being Khalid, who spoke to you earlier, who was willing to put aside valuable time just to sit down with me, help me, and offer me some valuable advice. Studying here has broadened my horizons and given me a better understanding of aspects I often overlooked, one of them being the work of academicians and research, which is something I've come to greatly admire and respect and appreciate, so much so that this has become my own ambition now. I've learned a lot during my time here, and I've been given the opportunity to investigate various concepts. One of them is ESG, which is what my thesis is based on. To put it very simply, ESG is a measure of sustainability. So what does Islamic finance have to do with ESG? Well, sustainability is a very well-established concept in Islam. As such, Islamic banks which are modeled on the principles of Sharia, which is derived from the Quran and Sunnah, must conform to these principles of sustainability. So my thesis will be comparing the ESG of Islamic banks to their conventional counterparts. And as I spend more time looking into this topic, the more I get invested in it. This opportunity, along with the experiences I've built up over the last 2 years, are some of the many reasons I'm grateful to HBKU and why I consider joining this university one of the best decisions of my academic life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dalal and Mohammed, for the clear and comprehensive presentation. Before moving to the next agenda, I would like to implore the presenters to keep to time to avoid going beyond the specified time limit for the event. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Gavin Pickett, a professor at the College of Islamic Studies, to give an overview of our Masters of Arts in Contemporary Islamic Studies program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Gavin Picken. I am the Program Coordinator and Professor of Islamic Studies for the brand new MA in Contemporary Islamic Studies, which we've just launched in the current academic year in fall 2020. Before discussing the program with you, what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about our environment and our college a bit more broadly, and then get into some details about what the program actually does. As was mentioned just now, we can see that our college is situated in the heart of the Middle East and the Muslim world, which makes the college have a greater advantage in actual fact at being the heart of the core of the issues, which obviously are of concern for contemporary Islam. In addition to that, we're situated in a fantastic and iconic building with an exceptional infrastructure. So as to not get into trouble with copyright, what I did actually with my slides is just take some pictures that I've taken over the last couple of years while I've been here, in actual fact incorporated into slides so you can see how amazing the building is. It houses not only the College of Islamic Studies, but also the library, which has a great number of resources, and we can consider it what we might refer to as a 21st century library, with a number of not just physical resources, but also electronic resources, such as databases and so on. In addition to that, though, of course, any college and any program of study does not only rely on the building and the infrastructure that it is situated in, but it relies heavily on the faculty that teach that program. And we have faculty with significant reputations in their fields of specialism and highly significant research profiles. We'll talk about their specialisms later on, and you could see some of the examples in the courses that we're teaching. Regarding our programs, one of the main ideas in the college, which has always impressed me, is the idea that we are trying to create unique, innovative, and interdisciplinary programs, which provide the opportunity to study both traditional Islamic knowledge and place such knowledge in the context of the challenges which are faced by modern society. In other words, what we're trying to find is a synergy between the great Islamic heritage and the challenges that we face in the contemporary world. What about our students? Unfortunately, as we've just started the program, we were not able to provide you a student to talk to, because actually most of them, in fact, have just arrived in Doha and just exited quarantine. So unfortunately, we couldn't get a live individual to speak to you. But on a broader level, we can say that, first of all, that our students have a diverse range of student profiles and nationalities. In other words, they come from a rich and varied background, in addition to the fact that they're truly international, coming from residents and nationals from Qatar itself, and also from a number of countries around the world. We've had students from India, Pakistan, Malaysia, Indonesia, Russia, the Ukraine, America, and so on. The other thing that is an advantage, I feel, for the College of Islamic Studies, that our students are highly experienced. As you saw with our student Omar just now, he's already completed a degree in Manchester before even coming here. And then it's often the case that many of our students not only have completed very high-level undergraduate degrees, but they've also completed postgraduate degrees. In other words, this is not the first time they're doing a postgraduate program. The other big advantage, which is actually a very big advantage, is that we have a very low student-to-faculty ratio. What that means in simple terms is that there are not many students in the classroom in comparison to the number of faculty. So in other words, the maximum classroom size that I've taught in is approximately 8. In other words, this gives opportunities for students and faculty to get to know each other really well, to engage with one another, and gives us that opportunity to get to know you better and improve our relationships with you as teachers and students, so that we can go forward and work together in a more positive and collaborative manner. The other thing that is advantageous about our students is that a high composition of them are full-time students. So they're not doing this on a part-time basis, but rather they're committed to their studies. And we see that regularly in how the work they produce and the activities and engagement with classes that we provide for. As a student at HBKU, one of the most amazing things that I think we can discuss is the idea that you are highly encouraged to engage with research yourself. For example, we have a rich culture of research centers which students may engage with, and in often cases that we can find students actually work in those research centers on live projects. The other thing is that we have an existing culture of seminars, conferences, symposia, and now webinars that enrich the experience of the students in the program, and we have at least one public event a week, if not more. So in that sense, you're in a very, very rich environment where you're constantly being stimulated with different forms of input regarding your education, not just the regular classroom engagement that you would find in any university course in actual fact. The other thing that I'd like to mention about our college is that we have a large number of memorandums of understanding, relationships, contracts with other universities of a similar inclination. In other words, that we are building a network globally that facilitates for our students research opportunities and indeed visits to other countries. So one of the examples that we could give there is Zaim University and also Ibn Khaldun University in Turkey, which our students have visited. And in addition to that, of particular interest to the students of the MA in Contemporary Islamic Studies is that we have a very deep and far-reaching relationship with Oxford University and in particular the Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies. So every year a select group of students will be chosen to go to the UK and study for approximately a period of 1 month, exploring their research topic, which is part of their thesis dissertation. Regarding the program, as I said, it's a new program. We've updated and streamlined our program considerably to what it was before. A little bit about the philosophy behind that. Which is that we want to cultivate a detailed understanding of the variety of Islamic discourses and appreciate the diversity of Muslim thought in the contemporary period to address current issues. In other words, that we are not looking at Islam as a kind of monolithic religion, but on the contrary, we want to look at a vast range of epistemological and methodological approaches that Islam has produced over its long and rich history, and how those could be employed to be used to face our contemporary challenges. We want to also to develop the essential epistemological and methodological tools for the analysis and production of contemporary Islamic discourses. In other words, we want to prepare our students with the essential skills that they need to interpret these and engage critically with the topics at hand. In addition, we want to advance the specialized skills necessary to undertake dynamic and innovative research that engages with Islamic thought in its contemporary context. In other words, one of the things that's very, very prevalent in our college is that we don't give you things to do in terms of your research. You choose things which you're interested in, as you saw with our student Khaled earlier in the session, that he didn't want to do something that he'd done before, but on the contrary, he wanted to do something that would challenge him and he would learn from. So that's something that we highly encourage. And in fact, not only that, this college is one of the few places where I've worked in it over 20 years in my career, where we're actually encouraged to publish with our students, which is very unusual actually. So this is a huge opportunity for anyone who is interested in carrying on their career in publication and in academia. With regard to the program structure, it is a 36 credit program, which has a 3-course program foundation in the following topics. So that we have the foundations of Islamic thought, contemporary Quran and Hadith studies, and applied research methods in Islamic studies. In other words, it doesn't matter what specialization ultimately you take, you have to do these 3 courses. After that, you'll choose an area of specialization, which I'll talk about in a moment. And you have 9 elective courses which you can choose from. And some of those can be taken outside of our college or from the other programs in the college. So you've got a great deal of choice and variety that you can select from. And then in regard to the specialization you've taken, you will then study a thesis, approximately 1 entire semester of research, and perhaps a little bit more on that topic. With regard to the specializations, the first specialization is called Contemporary Islamic Thought. And that's taught exclusively in English. In other words, it's for the English language speaking students. And the required courses for this particular specialization are Islam and Modernity, Islamic Law and Society, and Islamic Thought and Post-Colonial Studies. After that, we have a range of elective courses that you could study. We would like you to choose only 3, of course, not all of them, but you can choose from a range of courses like the Media and Muslim Society, Islam Politics in the Muslim World, Muslim Encounters with Other Societies, Scientific Thought in Muslim Societies, Muslim Societies in Diaspora, and the Modern History of the Muslim World. Thereafter, there is a second specialization which is taught exclusively in Arabic. In other words, this is aimed at Arabic-speaking students specifically. Here we have a range of courses, and I'll attempt to read them in English and in Arabic so you can get a better idea. So this is the Takhassus في الفقه والمجتمع, and the required courses for this are non-textual legal sources, المصادر التشريعية غير النصية, Fatwa, Family and Fiqh, or Al-Fatwa wal-Usra wal-Mujtama, and the final required course is Islamic Jurisprudence, Politics and the State, or Al-Fiqh wal-Siyasa wal-Dawla. After that, once again, you select 3 courses from the following offerings, which are the higher objectives of Sharia and public interest, or Al-Maqasid and Al-Masalih, text and context comparative textual readings, or Al-Nas wal-Siyaq, Qira'at Nassiyya Muqarana, and then we have personal earnings and economics, which are Al-Makasib wal-Iqtisad. We have social justice, community welfare and sustainable development, which are Al-Adala al-Ijtima'iyya, Al-Amal al-Khairi wal-Tanmiyah, and Muslim social and political systems and institutions, Al-Nuzam wa-Mu'assasat al-Islamiyya. So as you can see there, we've got a variety of courses, both in English and in Arabic, that students could take. In other words, there is essential foundation which all students take, and then you go into an area of specialization, a field of specialization, either in English, of contemporary Islamic thought, or in Arabic, which is Al-Fiqh wal-Mujtama. Here we've tried to combine, therefore, 2 very important ideas, which is service to the Qatari society and the Middle Eastern societies more broadly, which is our specialization, Al-Fiqh wal-Mujtama. In addition to that, a more global approach, which is appealing really to the students from a more international background, which is our courses in English. So we're trying to combine 2 very, very important objectives in a singular program. I hope that you found what I've been able to present informative, and please feel free to ask questions in the Q&A session, or reach out to me at gpicking@hbku.edu/QA. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll hand over to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gavin, for the informative presentation. Now moving on to the Master of Arts in Islam and Global Affairs, I would like to invite Dr. Evelyn Talk to give his presentation.
There, Adam. I believe now my screen is on, and I have the globe. It's really not that easy to speak after my colleagues who already captured really the important and very prominent essence of our programs and our college and everything, and of course with specific reference to their own programs. So what I will try to do now actually is to share with you more specifically about the philosophy and the application of our program, or the process of our program, Islam and Global Affairs. And myself, in addition to what you see on the screen, an additional title actually is for me is the Assistant Dean of Innovation and Community Development. And I believe I'm mentioning this because it really helps me to better connect with the program, because many of the things in Islam and Global Affairs program that we are trying to accomplish are connected to global problems, global challenges that require innovative solutions. These challenges, of course, are intrinsically related to the communities, the global societies. So whatever problems we are encountering right now, they are global problems and they need global solutions. And Islam in a global world, therefore, is a perspective for us to weather these challenges. Very, very broadly, our program starts with 3 foundation courses: Introduction to Islam and Global Affairs, Islamic Worldview, and Research Methods course. And then afterwards, we have 3 core courses. These are Global Inequalities, Islam Conflict Transformation and Peace Building, and then Globalization and Faith-Based Development. You can see that these core courses are trying to amalgamate the conceptual fundamentals that are important in diagnosing the global problems, global affairs, but at the same time bring Islamic perspectives, Muslim perspectives to finding solutions. So in a way, I can comfortably say that our program is more problem-driven in the sense that we are looking at the policy dimensions and also dimensions that revolve around different disciplines. I believe some of my colleagues already mentioned about the interdisciplinary nature and applied nature of our programs. I believe in Islam and Global Affairs program, this is even more evident. And then we have 2 specialization courses. One is Special Topics in Islam and Global Affairs. This course, the content of it changes from term to term, depending on the hot topics in the area of Islam and Global Affairs. For instance, last year it was more about humanitarian action and more specifically the role of charities. This year we are making it more relevant to Islam and pandemics, for instance. And in addition, we have 2 electives that you can choose. One is Islam and Global Governance, and this is a course which looks into the global architecture, institutional architecture built around the states from the Muslim world, such as Organization of Islamic Cooperation and its entities, and many other organizations that represent Ummah. And then we have the Humanitarian Action in the Muslim World course, which this term actually is taught by the former Foreign Minister of Sudan, who is one of our faculty members. And in general, if you look at these courses, especially in the specialization courses, there is some kind of uniqueness and innovation in the sense that we allow our students to customize some of the course content, which means that students have a chance to self-customize, to self-tailor certain segments of the courses. So it's a good way of pretty much disrupting the educational modality from a traditional to a more innovative perspective. And then speaking of innovation, I can also talk about the iLab component. I believe this is really the flagship and most interesting feature of our program. In iLab course that I am actually leading this course, it's such a blessing really. The idea is to use design thinking and help build moral innovators, ethical entrepreneurs, and change makers who are driven by their values. So in this course, actually, we help the students to get equipped with different tools, design tools, so they can embrace values. They can utilize from value systems, but at the same time reflect these values on real projects. And then we try to help them in an experiential manner to implement these projects. And in fact, in the rest of my presentation, I would like to show you some of the examples of how the iLab component has been unfolding and really like coming up with really fruitful, really interesting, real applications. For instance, two of our Qatari students came up with an iLab project in which they were able to connect with a refugee camp, and then afterwards, after connecting with a refugee camp, they start building a theory of change, which is basically a logic model, input, activity, output, outcome model, and then they try to choose a problem in the refugee camp with an organization. For instance, in this case, they chose education above all and United Nations, UNRWA, and they work with these organizations, and we facilitated our students to go and make a field work out of this. For instance, in a different example, one of our students tried to look into e-learning and lack of education in Syrian refugee camps in Jordan. Another student, which I will show you actually very soon, a short video, they went to Pakistan and they worked with Islamic Relief, and they actually built a social entrepreneurship project at the end. And this is what I was talking about when I mentioned moral innovators, ethical entrepreneurs, and change makers driven by values in a global world. Currently, one of our Qatari students is working on an iLab project about discrimination against Muslims in India. One of our students who just finished from Georgia, she worked on the social integration of Muslim Sikh minority in Georgia, and which was basically revolving around her fieldwork in Tiflis and in Georgia in general. Another one is educational marginalization of Berber female youth in Morocco. And now I would like to share with you, perhaps so far, one of the most fascinating iLab projects, which actually right now, just a few weeks ago, it has been incubated by Qatar Science and Technology Park. And our students had a chance to pitch their ideas and put their project and ideation into reality. So I will kindly seek my colleagues' support to show this very short video, please.
I'm really excited to share with you a project that we've been working on for the past 5 months. The idea for this was born in December 2019 during my research trip to Islamabad, Pakistan. The topic explored women empowerment programs of Islamic Relief and included visits to their vocational training centers. As an attempt to provide economic opportunity for women, they provide training in salon skills as well as industrial and embroidery stitching. During one of the visits, I got an opportunity to meet the artisans working on Zardozi embroidery for traditional dresses. The majority of the artisans consisted of either widows, divorcees, or their daughters above 18. A private conversation with one of them basically kickstarted our project. She was sharing how hard these women are working, but that they don't have the means or knowledge to market their products and sell them at the value they deserve. Knowing that I lived in Qatar, she was hopeful that I could somehow help out in this regard. This conversation motivated me to do something for the ones in need. And as a result, I planned on working on an exhibition at my university, which first got postponed and then cancelled due to COVID.
Over time, a single event turned into an idea of an online fair trade business that could benefit more of the highly skilled artisans in the similar situations and could provide a long-term income for them. We're currently in the process of working on our website and in conversation with artisans in Jordan and Pakistan, and aim to contact more of them in other countries in the future. Initially, we will be bringing handmade clothing and home decorations to Qatar and switching to international deliveries at a later stage. Our platform will focus on giving marginalized artisans access to international markets and help them along the way with product development, marketing, deliveries, and more. If you would like to help our little startup, you can donate to the provided crowdfunding link and follow our journey on Instagram at Qatar_store. We appreciate every drop of support from you and cannot wait to bring to you the final results.
And for instance, this is one of the reports about the refugee camps, Syrian refugees in Lebanon, and a few other publications. So we also promote our students to publish based on their interests, and these are just two publications, but some of them are on the way. Another element is we really try to help our students to have fun. This is one of my other identities. Let's say I'm a Lego Serious Play facilitator, and this Lego Serious Play facilitation brings Lego with values and innovation, and we try to help the students to reflect on values by using Lego prototyping, Lego bricks, and then they build models of, depending on their choice, issues related to different sustainable development goals. I am pretty sure you are all familiar with different sustainable goals. I am a big fan of these cubes, actually, of sustainable development goals. So we try to kind of like align our program with the SDGs, and what you see here is the Sustainable Development Goal wheel, and we are using Lego Serious Play as a tool for reflection. For instance, the one on the right-hand side is about building a team, and our students have been working together to come up with a project. Or sometimes we work on academic publications. For instance, how inclusion of special needs students in a classroom. Sometimes students really find it really beneficial to go out of the traditional way of doing research and teaching and learning, but try to visualize by prototyping. So this is one of the examples that we are trying to build as an experiential learning, and of course, help them better understand how complex systems work. And analytical thinking helps students to reconstruct complexity into smaller parts and work on them in a more free, in a more inclusive, and in a more open-minded way. If you are interested, please join our program. Of course, apply first. And if you have any questions, my email is etok@hbku.edu.qa, and I'm happy to help and support, and good luck.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. And now I would like to invite Dr. Tariq Swalim, who is an associate professor at the College of Islamic Studies, to give an overview of our Masters of Science in Islamic Art, Architecture, and Urbanism program.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's very nice to hear my colleagues talk about their programs. I have very little to say after all what I've heard. We are conducting the Islamic Art, Architecture, and Urbanism Master's Program, and I am the coordinator. My name is Muhammad Tariq Swalim, and I'm also an Associate Professor of Islamic Art and Architecture. Now, why do we have this program? Because this program is a very important part of Islamic studies in general. Art and architecture are very important subjects in urbanism, and there are no other universities that are in the area that have such an intense program as ours. We are not a PhD program, but we are a master's program. And the master's program here is fun, and it's also intense. What we have here is a program that is in collaboration with Oxford University and the Museum of Islamic Art in Doha. So our courses that are in architecture and art, urbanism, have lots to do with these two great institutions. Some of the courses are taken at the museum, or we have the curators of the museum come and teach these courses with us. We have lots of activities with the Museum of Islamic Art, and here we have the privilege of going into areas that people cannot enter easily. So we have hands-on studies and experience with the objects that are in the storerooms that are not excessively available for everybody. With Oxford University, we have this wonderful collaboration where some of their faculty come and teach courses with us. They come and teach like several classes during a semester, during every semester actually, and then we have also this privilege of, as Dr. Gavin said earlier, we have the privilege of having the students go to Oxford and use their libraries for a period of 4 months. These students are chosen by us. It's not the first year, but it's in the second year. And they have this experience of being in a university that is in the UK, and having that experience of encountering students like them that are in a different sphere altogether, and the whole experience is very, very interesting. It's a 2-year program, and therefore we have different requirements. So these requirements are 10 courses that are given plus the thesis. And what we do it, the way we do it is that every semester, for the first year, we have the fall semester and then we have the spring semester. 3 courses and 3 courses. Some of the courses are continuous in art and architecture, so you have a period between the 7th century and the 19th century that continue each other, that complete each other. And as a kind of a flow, so we study things that are from Spain and things that are buildings that are in North Africa, Turkey, Egypt, Syria, and Iran, and Pakistan, and India, and Central Asia. So it's quite a vast area of study that we cover in that. We go into art. We go into architecture as well as urbanism. The first 2 semesters are important. The requirements are kind of like any other study. It's like any other program. You have papers. We don't have exams, but we require papers, research papers that are high quality. Of course, a student is not expected to do that from the beginning, so we train them to reach that level of excellence in thesis, in research writing, etc., and how to do research. Our wonderful building, the Menoratain at CIS, has a great library, a very nice atmosphere to work in. But we're not limited to that library only. We go to use the National Library next door to us, which is great, and also the library of the Museum of Islamic Art in Doha probably has one of the best libraries in Qatar to use for our subjects. So students are welcome there in MENA, Museum of Islamic Art. And they give them special services once they go there and say that they are part of our program. This is for the first 2 semesters. Now, the 3rd and the 4th semesters are courses and then thesis. But lately we have done the following. We have asked the students during summer, after the 2nd semester, to choose a specialty. So if we go to the following slide, please, we will see the specializations. The student has to know what kind of specializations we need. Can we switch the slides, please? We have 3 specializations. Thank you. We have 3 specializations. The first specialization is Islamic art, history, and cultural display. The second specialization is contemporary mosque architecture. The third is sustainable cities of Muslim societies. So the first is on art, the second is on architecture, the third is on sustainable cities, that is urbanism. The student takes some time to decide which specialty he or she would like to do, like to choose. You can choose whatever specializations you like. We have discussions about that and talk, and it takes some time. Student is required to also think of a subject to write their thesis on, and they do some research during summer, and not a lot of work, but when you start the 3rd semester, a student is expected to give a proposal for the thesis and start writing. And once we have this proposal, presentation, and bibliography and whatever, we start writing. And in the middle of November, like now, we're expected to finish a couple of chapters in the thesis, so that when you go into the 4th semester, then you can finish at ease, and you'll have time to revise and all of that. So we have 4 semesters. 3 semesters of them are courses. After the 2nd semester and the 3rd, you get to choose your specialty, and then after that you go into your thesis and start writing. And then the 4th semester is when you should finish your thesis. Can we have the next slide, please? One of the nice things about our program, it's also fun, and we have an annual trip that is partially sponsored by HBKU and CIS. We go to one of the countries that have good architecture of the Islamic world. So we several years ago we went to Cairo. We did Cairo. The year after we went to Istanbul and stayed a few days there, covered most of the architecture there. And then in 2019 we went to the Kingdom of Jordan, and we saw some wonderful sites there. This year, 2020, of course, we were supposed to go to Spain, and we had a large number of participants, but of course, because of COVID, we could not go. So probably next year we will go to Spain for not only the new students, but the alumni. It will be offered for everybody, and we'll go into details after that. We are familiar with museums from all over the world. We're familiar with the museums in Paris, in the UK, in the USA, and in Germany, and Malaysia, and in the area of the Gulf, and in Egypt, and in Syria, and in Iraq, and of course Turkey. And we get familiarized with all their collections, and so that when we graduate, we have a good degree of awareness and knowledge about all what's happening around us. When it comes to mosque architecture, this is about art. When it comes to mosque architecture, you can do design. It can be a specialty in designing mosques, and everything that goes around it. And we've had some very interesting projects in the past. One project was building a mosque in a ranch camp in California, and it was quite successful a few years ago. This was conducted by Dr. Ramah Gharib, who is the Associate Dean, who spoke to you at the beginning of the course. We have also great relations with all the programs that offer Islamic art and architecture in the world. And we also have a kind of, I can't say dynamic, but we have a heavy weighted program in lectures, public lectures. Lecturers come to us and give lectures from anywhere in the world, and the prominent lecturers, scholars who come and give us talks and give us classes as well. And we also go out and we provide lectures in different parts. Since we have this collaboration with the Museum of Islamic Art, then we also have a series of lectures that we give every year. And then we have clubs. We have an Islamic Art Club in our program. We have another one in the Museum of Islamic Art that most of us are part of as well. And it becomes quite exciting and quite interesting and very friendly atmosphere that people get together from all over the world. We have students like, as Professor Gavin said, we have students from Europe. We have students from the Middle East, from everywhere. We have students from Pakistan and India, Turkey, and Europe, from Spain. We have lots of quite an international group of students who interact very well together, and everyone learns from the other. Our program, as I said, is unique. It is different, and it is also great fun. I hope you will enjoy coming. Come and visit us. Come and talk to us about what you see. The building is a fantastic building. All of you talked about my predecessor. My speakers spoke about the beauty of the building. Great atmosphere, great library. You will enjoy it tremendously. And there is lots to be done from the current students who are doing different projects and participating in other projects as well. So that is for me to say. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much.
It is nice listening to your presentation, Dr. Tariq Spilin. Now moving on to the Master of Arts in Islamic Ethics and Applied Islamic Ethics, I would like to invite Dr. Mu'taz Al-Khatib, who's an Associate Professor at the College of Islamic Studies, to give his presentation.
Thank you, Adam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good evening to everybody. In my short presentation, I will start with general introduction, and then I will cover three main points. The identity of the Applied Islamic Ethics program, students of Applied Islamic Ethics program, and then finally I will give a brief talk about the structure of the program. As for my introduction, as you know, our modern world is shaped by remarkable developments in almost all aspects of life, including politics, socio-economic, economic affairs, and gender relationships, in addition to biomedical and technological advancements. Besides their great benefits, these developments and advancements have also raised deep moral questions and challenges. Individuals, societies, and professional communities are constantly addressing the moral questions and challenges that these developments raise. In the end, we need, as individuals, to make sense of our lives in the midst of profound changes and to organize socio-political and financial activities
in ways that are faithful to our moral world. Now, what is the identity of Applied Islamic Ethics program? Master of Arts in Applied Islamic Ethics is the first program of its kind worldwide. It addresses how Islam and as a world religion with a rich moral heritage engages with and contributes to the global moral discourse. Its strong interdisciplinary character combines in-depth knowledge of both theoretical and applied ethics rooted in the Islamic tradition. Students, now which students that we are targeting and which students that we produce in this program? We target students who enjoy the study of Islam and Islamic texts, those who think logically and objectively about issues, those who are interested in ethical issues and dilemmas, and those who find value in collaborating with others to solve problems, and those who confront challenges with a balance of creativity and common sense. Now, which students that we produce in this program? Students who study or graduates of this program will have the skills of continue their academic studies at the PhD level in the many fields covered in this program. And they may also work in a professional environment by regulating ethical guidelines and policies in government and private institutions active in a wide range of areas, including biomedical sciences, engineering, business, politics, family, and human rights in Muslim and Western contexts. As for the structure of the program, this is the structure of the program. The program is based on 9 courses and theses. The courses are divided, as you can see on the slide, into 4 categories or levels. The foundational courses, there are 2 foundational courses. As you can see, Islamic ethics mapping the field and research methods and sources on ethics. And there are 2 theoretical ethics courses, theoretical courses. These theoretical courses are scriptural ethics and theological and philosophical ethics. And then the student of applied Islamic ethics will choose 5 applied courses from a wide range of, a set of courses, elective courses. And then the thesis, he will or she will write her or his thesis. The overall structure of the program is designed to balance 2 main aspects. The academic aspect of Islamic ethics through a scholarly approach rooted in the Islamic tradition, and the applied aspect to improve students' skills in addressing the vexing ethical dilemmas and questions that people face in contemporary times for the prospective market of professional work. For example, that we this year we designed 2 new courses, elective courses. One is on Islamic ethics of pandemics, and the other one is on Islamic ethics and artificial intelligence. To avoid taking much time, I think we are already late. So I will introduce Khalid Zamzami, who is one of the best students in Islamic ethics. He is going to share with you briefly his experience studying Islamic ethics and studying and combining between his professional work as a medical doctor at Hamad Hospital, and studying at the same time. The floor is yours, Dr. Khalid.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mu'taz. So my name is Khalid al-Zamzami. As Dr. Mu'taz said, I work as a psychiatrist at Hamad Hospital here in Qatar. I'm also a master's student in the Islamic ethics program. So for the last 3 years, my time was spent between Hamad Hospital during the day and Hamad bin Khalifa University in the evenings. So prior to joining the program, I was very passionate about the relationship between Islam, psychology, and mental health. And the master's program really enabled me to turn this passion into an academic endeavor. So through all the courses Dr. Mu'taz mentioned in the slide right before I speak, I was able to explore so many of the areas of research that are at the intersection between Islam and mental health. I was able to publish a paper that you see here on top of the slide. It's called Navigating Ethical Dilemmas in Mental Health Practice Between Professional Ethics and Islamic Values. And alhamdulillah, I was able to present this paper in 4 international conferences over the last 2 years. I was able to write on a wide range of topics at this intersection. The topic of suicide between Islam and mental health is the topic of my master's thesis. Topics like gender and sexual orientation, constructs like qalb and mind between Islamic scriptures and psychology and neuroscience, jinn possession and mental health. I'm also currently working on papers on ethics of dementia care, ethics of reporting child abuse. Also, I wrote a chapter on the history of mental health in the Muslim world. So all these areas and domains I've been able to work on in the last 3 years during my time in the program. In 2018, I was nominated to be a member of the ethics committee at the psychiatry department at Hamad Medical Corporation. I was also nominated to be a member of the ethics committee at the American Association of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. So I really believe that the program provided me with all the tools I needed to access to both classical and contemporary Islamic studies and literature. And beyond the classroom, really the program offers a wide range of enriching experiences. Being at Qatar Foundation with access to Qatar National Library, we have a lot of opportunities of training and courses. I've taken translation courses, I've taken multiple courses at QNL. Also, the program offers summer schools, and the latest one I attended was the one on Islamic ethics and COVID-19, which was extremely enriching. The program and the university offers lots of support and research and writing throughout our training. So literally every second I'm writing a paper right now, working on a book chapter or thinking of a research project, every single tool I've learned and acquired in my training comes very, very handy, starting from transliteration to basic formatting, to editing my writing, to accessing databases, to taking a multidisciplinary approaches. All of these are concepts that are always talked about in the program. So to summarize, this program has really made me a different person, a different aspiring scholar altogether. And one of the most beautiful things is that you're sitting in the classroom with someone to your right writing on education, to your left talking about environment, in front of you writing on politics, someone in the classroom working on Sufism, another project working on another student working on the genome project, for example. So it's quite a rich environment to be in, quite an intellectually motivating environment to be in. And it has been one of the most important things and one of the most critical things that I have done in my career to go through this master's program. And I'd like to thank Dr. Mu'taz, Dr. Ghali, Dr. Ray, and everyone who's running this program. And thank you for this opportunity to share my experience with you tonight.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mu'taz and Khalid al-Zamzami, and to all our faculty members for the valuable information provided. Next, I would like to call upon Nasser al-Binali from the Enrollment Office to walk us through the admission criteria and application requirements of Hamad bin Khalifa University.
Thank you, Adam. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, all. Today, I will introduce myself. I am Nasser bin Ali, Head of Enrollment at HBKU. Today we're talking about admission requirements. Can I have the next? Okay. As you know, that it's very important to have a bachelor's degree with a strong academic record, the minimum with the minimum GPA 3 and out of 4 from a recognized university. And master degree is required for admission to the PhD programs. Applicants from all fields are welcome to apply. And very important, as you know, that the IELTS and TOEFL is required as well. For the minimum, the 6.5 for the IELTS and the TOEFL is 79. Exemption is possible. For the PhD and in Islamic finance and economy, the GRE or GMAT is required. And prior relevant research and work experience is preferred. For the fiqh and society concentration, must demonstrate proficiency in Arabic through studies. For example, an undergraduate degree in which language of instruction was Arabic, or by completing proficiency examination offered by the CIS, as well as proficiency in English, IELTS 5 or TOEFL 35 to 45 as well, or proof of previous studies. Can I have the next, please? For the admission requirements, the application online is very important. As you know, that if you want to apply, you have to visit the www.hbku.edu.ka/admissions, and you have to fill that all questions through that applications. After that, you upload the documents that start with academic transcript and grading skills, and the official TOEFL or IELTS scores or exemption letter as well. The personal statement from that is very important, 300 to 500 words. And the passport and ID is also required, resume or CV. 2 recommendation letters is very important, also to letters which must be sent directly by referees to this email recommendations at hbku.edu.qa. And last thing about the deadline. Don't miss the deadline. The deadline for the categories and residence applicants, the 15th of March. And for international applicants, February 1st, 2021. For contact information, if you have any further information, please visit the cis.hbku.edu.qa. And if you have any admission inquiries or any questions, please email us by admissions.cis@hbku.edu.qa. Thank you. I think we missed one slide there. No problem, that's fine. I can read it here if you need it, just for the information. For the master, if you want to apply for, as you know that I will need to continue for that. So if you want to apply for the master arts and contemporary Islamic studies, you have to, as you know, there is 2 concentrations, one for the Islamic thought and the other one for the fiqh and society. For the Islamic thought concentration, you have to bachelor's degree in Islamic studies. If you have that Islamic study or Middle Eastern studies or religious studies or relatable area with the arts or humanities and social sciences with the appropriate experience. For the fiqh and society concentration, you have to bachelor's degree in Sharia or Islamic studies or related areas. If you want to apply for the master in science or Islamic art, architecture and urbanism, you have to bachelor's degree in art, history or art, archaeology, interior architecture or design, architecture and urban planning. If you want to apply for the master or PhD in Islamic finance and economy, you have to bachelor degree in any like in economics or business or finance, accounting, Sharia or related field. If you want to apply for a master in Islam and global affairs, all fields are welcome to apply. If you want to apply for a Master of Arts in Applied in Islamic Ethics, all fields are welcome to apply. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nestor, for the informative information. Lastly, I would like to welcome our colleague, Fahad Al-Hajri, to talk about the student affairs and student life at HBKU.
Thank you, Adam. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fahd Al-Hajri. I work as a community service lead at Hamad bin Khalifa University. I'll talk about the other academic, rather than academic side. We have a student life, and we do also like services besides the academic. We do like a career services, student clubs, student writing, health and wellness, counseling, and also like civic clinic. This is like the life of the students. We prepare the students for their work experience, and also to make them to engage with the employer. Now we can watch a short video about the student affairs before I pass back the mic to Adam. Thank you.
قسم المشاركة الطلابية في إدارة شؤون الطلاب هو أحد الأقسام الداعمة للطلاب في جامعة حمد بن خليفة، والذي يسهم بشكل كبير في دعم الطلاب وإشراكهم وإخراطهم في الأنشطة غير الأكاديمية. هناك أنشطة رياضية، هناك أنشطة ثقافية، هناك أنشطة تعليمية، جميعها تكون خارج المنهج التعليمي، ولكن كلها يصب في النهاية نتائجها تصب في النتيجة التعليمية لكل طالب.
كل سنة الفرق عندنا عددها يكثر. عندنا لحد الآن 6 فرق رياضية، فريق كرة قدم فئة بنين، فريق كرة سلة فئة بنين وبنات، فريق كرة طائرة بنين وبنات، وعندي فريق فئة شباب كريكت.
احنا طبعا نتواصل في إدارة شؤون الطلاب من خلال إدارة التواصل المجتمعي وشؤون الطلاب مع الجامعات الشريكة الموجودة في قطر فاونديشن من خلال ما يسمى بالكارير سيرفيسز اللي هو الخدمات المهنية. قمنا في السابق في موضوع اللي هو المعرض المهني الكارير فير. أيضا عملنا في السابق برنامج كان لقادة المجتمع، دعينا فيه معظم رؤساء الشركات وأيضا بعض الوزراء للتعرف على الجامعة وتعريفهم ببرامج الجامعة اللي تطرحها.
احنا في إدارة شؤون الطلاب نهتم خاصة في ناحية العلاقات المجتمعية، كتوقيع اتفاقيات، كزيارة الشركات الخاصة والغير خاصة للتعريف عن جامعة حمد بن خليفة، وتواصل اتفاقيات من ناحية توفير فرص للطلاب أو للخريجين، أو أنك إذا شركات أو القطاع الخاص عندهم مثلا وجهات نظر للتعاون ممكن احنا نخدمها تحت إطار اتفاقية أو تحت إطار اللي هو تعاون مشترك ويانا.
And now we're going to the question and answer session, and I'll be passing the floor to Sabika to moderate the question and answer and pass the questions to the appropriate faculty.
Great. Thank you very much, Adam. I know we're having a flood of questions, so we will have a bit of a rapid fire round with all our professors and staff. Just Dr. Ahmad, just to start with you, we're getting quite a lot of questions about the acceptance rate and based on what criteria are scholarships given. Are they partial or full? And if you can also cover about applying with families.
Okay, thank you very much, Sabika. Actually, our acceptance rate is very low, I would say. We don't exceed most than 10% from all the applicants we receive within the college, and this is just shows the quality that we are seeking and we would like to admit in our college. So I still encourage all people to still submit their applications and have a chance to get to the interview phase where they would be meeting some of our faculty, the program coordinators specifically, and then they can share their views, what they are expecting from the program, and they would know more, of course, when they come to this level. So please submit your applications, and then we will come to the point if you would meet the minimum requirements or not. In terms of the second part of the question related to if they would, students would apply with their families, this is only explicit for the PhD students. So if you have a family and you are willing to come to Qatar, yes, you can do this if you're applying for a PhD program, and specifically for the Islamic Finance and Economy program, and inshallah with the upcoming Islamic Studies PhD program.
Thank you very much. The next question is for Dr. Gavin. It's regarding the language component, and if we could cross select courses from the other concentration if they were bilingual students, and if there was any possibility to do contemporary Islamic studies in Arabic. It's contemporary Islamic thought in Arabic. Apologies.
No worries. Thank you very much, Sabika. I think I'll try to be as clear as possible. We have the contemporary Islamic thought specialization taught exclusively in English. Therefore, you have to either be able to prove that you are a native speaker of English or that you've achieved a certain language competency in English via IELTS or TOEFL. Okay, that's number one. Regarding Arabic, the fiqh and society concentration, you need to be either a native speaker of Arabic, which you can prove through your school certificates, etc., or you have to have some kind of testing that you are capable of undertaking this course of study in Arabic. And we can also have tests given to students because we are very capable Arabic language professors. The Arabic language concentration, fiqh and society, still requires an IELTS achievement of at least 5. In other words, you cannot be an exclusive Arabic language speaker. You must know some English because the language of institutional use at HBKU is English. On the issue of bilingualism, as long as you can prove that you are bilingual, you can choose your elective courses from either concentration. In other words, if you're studying in English and you can prove that you're a near native Arabic speaker, you could select elective courses from the Arabic the Arabic specialization in fiqh and society. And likewise, if you were in the Arabic specialization of fiqh and society, but you had could prove your English language proficiency, you can take elective courses from the specialization in contemporary Islamic thought.
Thank you very much. The next question would be for Dr. Tariq in terms of are there internships and other opportunities such as with local institutions provided in the program?
Yes, there are opportunities for internships for our students to work any place. So we have students who have done internships. During the last few years. So it is something that can be done.
Thank you very much. Dr. Ramad, the next question for you. Are there courses provided during the summer and are these covered under the scholarship?
Okay, so most of the courses are covered under the scholarship. So if you receive a scholarship, we will cover partially the amount of the courses, the fees, or if you receive an international scholarship, then we will cover it 100%. If we are offering them during the summer break, no, this is not the practice in HBKU because this is a graduate university, and why we don't do this is basically we prefer to have a good number of students per class. This is what creates this kind of discussions and stimulates this debate and arguments that takes place between the faculty and the students. So offering summer courses would somehow affect this kind of teaching experience we're trying to offer. So no, we don't offer summer courses, but we do have, of course, our scholarships, which are partially and full.
Thank you very much. I have a question for Dr. Ahmed regarding the PhD in Islamic Economics and Finance. So if you do have a bachelor's degree in that same area, but your master's degree is in international cooperation or something similar, can you still apply to PhD?
Thank you, Ms. Sabika. We definitely look at the transcript. We look at the program, the quality of the program that you studied before. But you know, this Islamic finance, economy is quite related with most of the topics. If you have the fundamentals, the master will be quite helpful. And we are not saying that you have to do, it is other way around actually. I mean, you can have your master from any studies and then you can apply. Because the good thing about the Islamic Finance and Economy program, it's multidisciplinary. There are students who are doing qualitative studies, there are students doing econometric studies, and we have very good faculty members to respond to your needs. And that's why we are quite receptive of this variety.
Thank you very much. Dr. Tariq, I'll come back to you, please. Would you need to note the specialization in advance when we're applying for the program in art and architecture? Sorry, Dr. Tariq, your mic.
Sorry. We have the interview, of course, and we like to ask the students what they are inclined to be specialized in, but it's not, we don't write it down and we say, "Khalas, this is done," you know. It's very flexible. So, but they need to know their specialization at the beginning of the third semester. Meaning after the second semester during the summer, and propose their topic and specialization in the third semester.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mu'taz, a question for you, please, regarding the Islamic ethics program. For those who are unable to come to the university, is there any way to have it offered online?
Not yet. So I think Dr. Mah can answer this question, because we are planning to have something like online courses in the future, but still it's not in practice.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Yes, we are in this field, and we are investing a lot in, I would say, in hybrid and online e-learning tools and possibilities, of course, not just because of the pandemic, but it's our vision is to reach to the outer world, to reach to the larger audience interested in Islamic studies, of course, either in the Muslim world or beyond. And we are working with all our programs now to develop some of our courses to be listed under various platforms that offers digital courses or online courses, such as edX, Coursera, and others. So we are working on this, and we are trying to incorporate these kind of courses within our programs, but still nothing is fixed or offered, but we are in the process of developing.
Thank you very much. I'm very wary of the time, so I think we'll go on for another 3-4 minutes and call it a night. Dr. Rama, while we have you, there is a question about pursuing a double master's. Are we permitted to apply for 2 programs?
Yes, you may apply for 2 programs, but you won't have the time to do them together. So, to be honest with you, that's really ambitious.
Superman. Or bionic women.
You may take two degrees after each other, so you finish one and then you take the next. However, we are working with other colleges within HBKU that we offer dual programs, and some of the credits will be shared on both sides then, but not within the courses, of course, but more or less within the thesis and the research requirements within the programs. But short answer, you won't be able to do 2 programs simultaneously. That's difficult.
Thank you very much. I have a question for Dr. Evren, please. Do you have any travel opportunities upcoming with the following year of the program?
Travel opportunities, I believe the applicant is, or potential applicant is actually inquiring about the ILAP program. Some of our students this term, they had to handle their ILAP remotely, but hopefully we are crossing our fingers that the vaccines will be ready and by next year we'll be back to our new normal. And of course, it depends on the university policy and or also the national policies regarding all these issues. But if everything goes okay, of course, our iLab programs are going to be operating as usual.
Thank you very much. And I think we'll just go with one last question. And because it is quite generic, I'll go back to Dr. Rama. There is a concern by a number of students actually in the time gap between their last degree and the degree that they're applying for. Would you be able to say anything on that?
No, there's no problem in this. Please feel free to submit your applications, even if there was like 2 years in between your bachelor and or any other the latest degree that you completed. It's okay. We accept all our applications and we look for the quality and the qualifications and not the age and the gap between the 2 degrees. Something that if you're really worried about this, you may add your CV, and I believe that you should add your CV in the applications. And within the personal statement, you can also address the experience and the work that you have been completing during this gap, I would say academic gap. And this also show how much of knowledge that you gained in the industry or in your work, which will also like support your application. So no, there's no problem in this. Please do submit.
Great, thank you very much. I think we still have quite a few questions, but I think there will be opportunities to get in touch with the college in our follow-up emails. And then for now, I'll just wrap it up and pass it back to you, Adam.
All right, thank you very much, Samika. Now we have come to the end of the question and answer session and the event as a whole. Thank you all for your questions and for attending this session. And I wish you the best of luck.